A, B, C,
It came when his son Mars was just a few months old.
F, G, H.
The call about a bipartisan mission that would pull him away from his young family most days for more than a year.
Felt surreal. So it was from the chief investigative counsel who called me and said that, of course, we're ramping up to investigate the January 6th attack.
Push him back!
I prayed about it. My wife and I thought about it pretty deeply, and we moved on faith, and I took the job early on in August of 2021.
The job for this George Mason, an American law school grad, was to serve as an investigative counsel for the House Select Committee. But it was his service to the nation in the Air Force that prepared Marcus Childress to accept the role. Back then, as a JAG officer, he prosecuted cases involving the military and extremist groups.
I really leaned into that experience, looking into why these Air Force members would want to be a part of a motorcycle gang. That really helped me when I was trying to figure out why these Air Force members would want to be a part of like the Oathkeepers or Proud Boys.
Childress would end up deposing 60 members of those groups. Some were veterans.
If you have military veterans who served their entire careers understanding chain of command, and they're sitting here saying, if the commander-in-chief tells me that the election was stolen, who am I not to believe them? And I found it to actually be pretty powerful testimony, just objectively, of how important it is for our leaders to lead. And if our leaders are sharing the big lie, then a large number of people in our country are likely going to follow it.
For the investigators on the January 6th committee, it all came down to the facts.
We did not go into the investigation saying that the former president did X, or that it was because this person said Y that people stormed the Capitol. We also understood the gravity of what we were doing. That was never lost on us, and we wanted to get it right.
In addition to the depositions, Childress also spent months watching every frame of the video from that day. He built a chronology to reconstruct the narrative of January 6th. What he saw and heard was searing.
Are you ready to talk about how that may have impacted you?
I'm still processing it. I think it was, you hit a point where you just kind of become numb to what you're seeing. The constant violence, the angry chants.
Storm the White House!
That look, some of those chants were directed at people that look like me and you. That is something that was abundantly clear to me from the very beginning, was that if we were going to win over the hearts and minds of Americans, they had to see the violence on the day. They had to see our law enforcement bravely fighting to preserve democracy on that day.
Childress was one of the authors of the 845-page January 6th report and played a lead role in the primetime hearings.
This is the night before the first hearing where we're going through a prep for the following day, and that's one of my colleagues and I, standing room only for every hearing that we had. You could feel the intensity with every hearing. You knew that millions of Americans and millions of people around the world were watching each hearing.
An outside independent commission to investigate January 6th.
And he says he knew that what the congressional members presented had to register in a powerful way.
On that first primetime hearing that we had a couple summers ago, when we showed that 11-minute montage, I think that's why I was able to captivate the country so quickly, because it was so visceral.
I saw friends with blood all over their faces.
And then you had Officer Caroline Edwards and Nick Quested talking about what it was like to live through it. And that's how we really approached the investigation, right? So this is a picture of some of my teammates and I in the war room right before the final hearing. Those are actual scripts in front of them. As you can see, the fact-checking of scripts never ended. The discussion now is, what do we do with those who were involved with January 6th? And that just shows that Americans believe what we have put out there, and we're now just trying to figure out what kind of country we want to be in the future.
Go! Do your dance!
At his home in Virginia,
Do it right, do it left.
these are the moments
Good kick.
that Childress cherishes right now.
Oh!
Mars is now too.
Are you proud of your dad? Yeah.
I necessarily wasn't home for some of the big moments, like his first steps or him eating solids for the first time. But Jasmine always reminded me, like, he's going to be reading about this when he's in college and high school and telling his kids about this.
I think that he is going to be like a really big part of history, and it's really cool to see that from Mars, to see that he was alive and we were able to witness it firsthand.
So what's next for this third-generation Air Force officer and now partner at his law firm?
I'm a public servant at heart, so I'm happy to be in a place where I can continue to give back to the local Alexandria community, to the DC community. But I'd be lying to you if I said if I got another call for something that will help make my son's life better, that I wouldn't take it.